The Fall of Sanaa Varma, a love story that ended in blood. In December 2021, Hyderabad, India, a city buzzing with life, was rocked by a tragedy no one saw coming. Sanaa Varma, a woman known for her kindness and strength, was found murdered. She was pregnant, and the killer was someone she had loved for over a decade. Sanaa was born on December 13, 1994, into a modest but loving family. Her father, Mrimesh Varma, was her rock, always pushing her to chase her dreams. But Sanaa's childhood wasn't easy. She lost her mother early to illness, a blow that forced her to grow up fast. While the loss left a permanent scar, Sanaa built her life around hope and compassion. After finishing college, she found her purpose, working with children who had disabilities. To Sanaa, this wasn't just a job, it was a calling. She poured her heart into creating programs, helping kids believe they could thrive despite their struggles. Her work earned her love from her community, colleagues, and especially from the children who looked up to her like a guiding light. In 2010, when Sanaa was just 16, her life took a turn. She met Amit Shekhar, a charming man from Lucknow. On the outside, Amit seemed perfect, good looks, smooth talk, and an air of confidence. But behind the smiles was a man shaped by a messy childhood and broken family. His parents' bitter divorce had left deep cracks in his character, cracks that would one day break Sanaa's world apart. Amit had a dark side, manipulative, controlling, always needing to feel powerful. He worked in finance but often slipped into shady deals. Still, when he met Sanaa, he wore the perfect mask, the dream boyfriend. Sanaa, longing for love and security, fell hard. The relationship moved quickly. Sanaa trusted him completely. In Amit, she thought she had found the protection she lost when her mother died. They were together for 11 years. They had 2 sons, were expecting a 3rd child, and though never married, Sanaa believed they were building a real family, but behind closed doors, the cracks deepened. At first, it was small things, Amit questioning her about where she went, who she met. Then it grew worse. He checked her phone. He interrogated her after casual conversations. If she spoke to another man, even a coworker, he exploded in jealousy. Slowly, Sanaa's bright, independent life began to shrink. Amit didn't just control her time. He controlled her money. Every rupee she earned, he demanded to oversee. He masked it as protecting their future, but the truth was darker. He wanted full control over Sanaa, mind and body. By the time Sanaa realized how deep she was trapped, it was too late. Behind the image of a happy family, a nightmare was unfolding. And in December 2021, as Sanaa carried the life of their 3rd child inside her, Amit ended it all in the most brutal way imaginable. Although Sanaa loved her family dearly, she felt like she was slowly losing herself. Arguments became a part of her everyday life. Every time she wanted to go somewhere, meet someone, or do something for herself, Amit would argue, saying it wasn't right, convincing her to stay home. The fights grew more frequent and heated. But despite how trapped she felt, Sanaa couldn't imagine leaving. She didn't want to break her family apart. She kept telling herself that if she loved Amit enough, if she sacrificed enough, he would eventually change. But deep inside, a cold realization grew, no matter how much she gave, nothing changed. Amit's need for control only tightened around her like a noose. As time went on, Sanaa realized she wasn't living anymore. She was surviving. Even though they had spent 11 years together, built a life, raised 2 sons, and were expecting a 3rd child, Sanaa could no longer ignore the growing emptiness inside her. What had once been a relationship filled with love and laughter had become a prison where dreams and freedom slowly died. Amit's control reached every part of her life. He monitored her phone, demanded to know where she was at every moment, and even read her private messages. If she messaged or spoke to male friends, he would explode in jealousy, demanding explanations, forbidding her from talking to them again. Whenever she wanted to meet friends, Amit would find reasons to interrupt, calling her repeatedly, insisting she come home early, even secretly following her. Every outing felt like being watched. Every conversation felt like walking on glass. Amit's control wasn't just emotional, it was financial too. Sana worked hard to support their family, but Amit demanded to control every rupee she earned. If she wanted to buy something for herself or save for her future, he accused her of wasting money. He decided everything, and Sana was left with no voice in her own life. Even her career, the work she loved so deeply, helping children with disabilities, wasn't spared. When opportunities for growth came, Amit always found ways to stop her. He would say that a mother's place was at home, that she was being selfish for wanting more. He twisted her dreams into guilt, and slowly, Sana started believing she had no right to want anything beyond being a wife and a mother. The world she had once built with hope and love turned into a mental prison. Each day, Sana grew more exhausted. Her spirit, once so bright, dimmed under the weight of control, guilt, and isolation. And yet, she stayed silent. Even as bruises began to appear on her arms, bruises she tried to hide under long sleeves, she stayed silent. Her parents noticed. They asked, gently at first, about the marks on her skin. Sana brushed them off with a strained smile, blaming clumsiness, brushing away their worry. But the truth was harder to hide each day. Deep down, Sana knew she couldn't keep up the facade forever. Her heart was heavy with shame, fear, and a desperate desire to protect her family's honor. She didn't want her parents to see the crumbling reality of her life. She didn't want them to worry or feel disappointed in the choices she had made. And so, she carried the weight of her suffering alone, hoping, somehow, that things would get better. But fate had other plans. However, the bruises on Sana's body became harder and harder to hide. Each time her family noticed and asked, Sana scrambled for new excuses, but her lies only made her parents even more worried. She felt trapped in a life that was going nowhere, a dead end she didn't know how to escape. A few weeks before everything fell apart, Sana had a serious conversation with her father. Fighting back tears, she admitted that she couldn't take it anymore. She wanted to leave Amit. Years of control, surveillance, and emotional cruelty had drained her of every ounce of strength she had. She no longer recognized the free, spirited woman she used to be. After suffering for so long in silence, Sana decided she couldn't keep hiding her pain. On December 6, 2021, still caught in a storm of emotions, she posted a cryptic message on social media. Controllers hurt you, then get angry at how you react to the pain they caused. It was her quiet scream for help, a veiled confession about the toxic relationship she was trapped in. For the first time, Sana didn't want to suffer quietly. She wanted the world to know she wasn't just a helpless victim. But her message didn't just catch the attention of friends and family. It also infuriated Amit. When he saw the post, his jealousy erupted into uncontrollable rage, and things only got worse when he discovered Sana was pregnant, but not with his child. To Amit, it was the ultimate betrayal. The thought of Sana moving on, starting a new life without him, shattered whatever sanity he had left. In his twisted mind, if he couldn't have her, no one else would. Consumed by jealousy and a desperate need for control, Amit decided he would make her pay. In the early hours of December 7, 2021, when the world outside was dark and still, Sana was working her night shift at a center for disabled children. It was a job she loved, a place where she poured out her heart caring for kids who needed her. The long nights had never bothered her, until that night. While sitting alone in the duty room, she heard a knock at the door. Thinking it was a colleague or a visitor, Sana didn't hesitate. But when she opened the door, everything changed. A masked man attacked her before she could even react. In seconds, he overpowered her, dragged her outside, and threw her into a waiting SUV. Panicked and disoriented, Sana couldn't scream for help. The car sped off into the night, carrying her away from the life she knew. That moment marked the beginning of a horrifying crime, one committed by the very man she had once loved and trusted. Blinded by rage and jealousy, Amit crossed a line from control to murder. The relationship that had started with promises of love now ended in violence and betrayal. The next day, when Sana didn't show up for work, alarm bells went off. She had never missed a shift without letting someone know. Her co-workers tried calling her, but there was no answer. Worried, they contacted her family. Panic quickly set in. Her family, sensing that something was terribly wrong, started searching frantically, but Sana was nowhere to be found. They filed a missing person report, and the police immediately got involved. Reviewing security footage from the childcare center, investigators spotted a white Mahindra Scorpio pulling away shortly after Sana disappeared. That vehicle would soon become a critical piece of the investigation. Even though Sana's family strongly suspected Amit was involved, at that point, there was no hard proof. As the search continued, heartbreak followed. On December 8, 2021, police discovered Sana's body. It was hidden inside a metal box, abandoned deep in a remote forest outside Hyderabad. A place so isolated that no one would have found her easily. It was only thanks to sniffer dogs that they picked up the scent near an SUV, the very same SUV tied to Amit. When officers searched the area, they found the box. Inside, they found Sana's lifeless body, hidden away like something he was trying to erase. The discovery left no doubt. Amit hadn't just kidnapped her in a desperate attempt to control her, he had brutally taken her life. Sana's body showed heartbreaking signs of violence, and the evidence clearly pointed to Amit. On December 9, 2021, police found him hiding in a suburban area of Hyderabad, not far from where Sana had been discovered. Thanks to a tip-off, the officers quickly moved in and arrested him. There was no running anymore. The investigation, the bruises on Sana's body, the security footage, everything pointed straight at Amit. At first, Amit denied everything. He refused to cooperate, pretending to be innocent. But faced with the mountain of proof, the truth finally broke him. He confessed. During his questioning, Amit admitted everything without hesitation. He described how he kidnapped Sana, brutally beat her, and stabbed her several times in a fit of rage before hiding her body deep in the forest. Amit explained that he was driven by blind jealousy. When he learned Sana was pregnant by another man and wanted to leave him, something inside him snapped. Instead of letting her go, he decided to destroy her. Amit's confession painted a horrifying picture. The girl who once loved him, the girl who only wanted freedom, was instead punished with cruelty because Amit couldn't accept losing control over her. His testimony exposed the dark, abusive side of a relationship that had once seemed normal from the outside. After confessing, Amit was formally arrested and charged with murder. But the story took another sickening twist. Investigators found that Amit was listed as the beneficiary of Sana's life insurance, a policy worth 1.2 crore rupees. It appeared that not only had he killed Sana out of jealousy, but he might have hoped to profit from her death too. However, under Indian law, a murderer cannot receive insurance money from their victim. Instead, Sana's father, her only surviving close family, was rightfully given the money. For her parents, though, no amount of money could ease the pain of losing their daughter, and knowing the man Sana once trusted had stooped so low made it even worse. Amit's trial began in September 2022. He faced 3 major charges: first-degree murder, kidnapping, and assault. The evidence was overwhelming. Witness statements, Amit's own confession, photos from the crime scene, it all revealed a man who was not just violent, but calculating and cold. The courtroom listened to the story of Sana's suffering, a young woman trapped in a toxic relationship of emotional manipulation, surveillance, and eventually brutal death. Her parents sat through every painful detail, holding on to each other, grieving for a daughter who had suffered far more than they had ever known. Finally, on September 15, 2022, the court delivered its verdict. Amit was sentenced to death. It wasn't a victory, because no sentence could bring Sana back. But for her family, the decision brought a small sense of justice, a sign that even in the face of such cruelty, the truth had been heard and answered. Summary/closing remark. Sanaa's story is a haunting reminder of how love, when twisted by control and jealousy, can turn deadly. What began as a relationship full of hope slowly decayed into a nightmare of surveillance, abuse, and fear. In the end, Sanaa's courage to seek freedom cost her everything, but it also exposed the monster hiding behind a familiar face. Amidst brutal actions not only took an innocent life but shattered the hearts of everyone who loved Sanaa. Justice, though served, cannot erase the tragedy or heal the deep scars left behind. Her story stands as a chilling wake-up call, that behind smiles and promises, danger can lurk, and the fight for freedom can sometimes come at an unthinkable price. May Sanaa's voice, silenced too soon, continue to echo as a call for awareness, strength, and the right to live free from fear. Thank you, dear readers, for taking the time to walk through Sanaa's heartbreaking story with us. We share these true crime stories not to sensationalize tragedy, but to raise awareness, foster understanding, and learn from the hidden dangers that can exist around us. Each case we present is carefully researched and told with the utmost respect for the victims and their families. Please remember, the content you read here is intended for educational and learning purposes only, to inform, to caution, and to help build a more aware society. By understanding these real-life stories, we hope to encourage vigilance, empathy, and positive change. We invite you to continue following our channel for more detailed, powerful, and eye-opening true crime stories. There are many more real accounts to uncover, each carrying important lessons that deserve to be heard. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. Your support inspires us to keep sharing the truths that matter. Stay informed, stay safe, and always keep reading.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more